Hey guys, so the star-studded film Murder on the Orient Express has finally had a trailer drop, and it does have me a little bit concerned, but I'm also very excited. But before we get into what the trailer is about and some things about it, let's first talk about what Murder on the Orient Express actually is. The film is based off of a novel of the same name, which was written by Agatha Christie in 1934, and it's a detective story about, you guessed it, a murder on a train called the Orient Express. The film is directed by actor-director Kenneth Branagh, who also directed 2011's Thor as well as 2014's Cinderella. Now, Branagh also stars in the film as Detective Hercule, who is investigating this murder on the train. I mean, talk about this guy taking over complete control of this project. He's acting in it. He's basically the lead detective role. He's directing it. He has essentially all the control in this movie. This film also has a massive cast of characters, including Johnny Depp, Michelle Pfeiffer, Judi Dench, Willem Dafoe, Josh Gad, and the amazingly perfect Daisy Ridley, all of which are not only passengers on this train, but they're also suspects in the murder. Now, I am a huge fan of mystery stories and whodunits. Actually, when I was younger, there was this series of novels or short story books called Quick Solve Mystery Puzzles or something along those lines by Jim Saka, I believe his name is pronounced. Essentially, it's about this detective who would go around just everyday life and like everything that he would encounter. They were just super short stories, just a few pages, and then he would like solve this, not necessarily murders, but solve these crimes, maybe who stole something or maybe where something went missing, things like that. It was just a lot of fun. So I've always really liked murders, not necessarily murder stories, but mystery stories in which we have to figure out who did what or who committed like a certain crime, things like that. So I've always loved movies like that, and in combination with that, I also love movies that have that sense of mystery or that plot twist at the end, like The Prestige or The Sixth Sense, and any type of mystery sort of story, including like Sherlock Holmes, both the series and the movies. I've always been fascinated with Batman's detective prowess and how he can always solve certain things. Although they've never really portrayed that in films, unfortunately. He's always been more the brooding badass as opposed to the detective that he originally was. Hopefully they'll do that one day with him, but I'm not sure how soon. But I've always been fascinated with detective stories. Whodunits, again, like Clue is a great movie. Seven is a great mystery movie in which you have to sort of try and figure out what exactly the motives are, who's the person killing these people. Fascinating, fascinating movies. So I'm really kind of looking forward to this movie. It kind of combines a lot of aspects that I'm really interested in. Murder mysteries, mysteries in general, a group of people that you have to figure out who committed this crime. There's all sorts of aspects to this movie that I'm really excited to see, and I can't wait to see on the big screen. I've never read the story. Of course, I've heard about it, but I've never read it. So I'm interested to go in sort of blank slate and try and solve the mystery as it's occurring. Now, I really don't want to get into the plot of the story. I think it's pretty self-explanatory just based on the title, Murder on the Orient Express. There's a murder on a train called the Orient Express. There's really not a whole lot of mystery there. The real mystery is figuring out who committed this crime, how, why, all those things that you want to know in a mystery story. Now, the thing that I find really interesting about this story, or this movie in general, is the overall look of it. It looks really cool. I love the look of that vintage sort of style to it, like everything's old-fashioned, but I have this also fascination that it still has that, retains that modern sort of quality to it. It just looks very refreshing, but it still has that old style. As if this is it taking place in the past, but it does have sort of that new look to it where you feel like it was new when this was occurring and the actual train was new and all these things were actually new. So it's going to be really interesting for me to watch this film because I think it looks pretty visually stunning by the trailer. My biggest complaint, however, about this trailer is the use of the song Believer by Imagine Dragons towards the end of the trailer. I don't have anything against Imagine Dragons, but I just feel like there's this trend in Hollywood where if you have a movie that's taking place in the past, but you have to sort of put this modern song on top of it. Yes, it is kind of interesting to have that modern song on top of an old-looking film, but it's just sort of become a trend that's become rather annoying. It even goes back to like The Great Gatsby a few years ago. I did like the movie, I love the book as well, but there's just something very odd about like a Jay-Z song on top of 1940s New York. There's just something really weird about it. I'm not a big fan of it personally. Maybe it's just like I said, it's a trend that seems to be happening in Hollywood, and I'm just not that big of a fan of it. I'm not really going to like nitpick on it that much because I obviously haven't seen the movie. I don't know how the song maybe relates to the movie, but it's just something that I didn't really find very appealing about this trailer. So guys, I have left the link down in the description below to the trailer, so if you have not yet seen it, please feel free to click that link, go and check it out. Then come back on here, or if you've seen it already, please feel free to leave a comment down below as to your thoughts on the trailer, what you think, how this movie is going to play out, will it be successful, all that good stuff. Leave in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, if you feel so inclined, leave a like. Also hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I have on the murder on the Orient Express. I'm really looking forward to it. Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.